So I just got off the Zoom call with my follow-up group from Decloaking and Living Authentically, the first experience of decloaking and living authentically that I have ever created, which is a introductory to the well systems paradigm 5-day intensive, to which 3 courageous women showed up. Today we had our follow-up call, and I am in absolute awe of what I heard about the transformation that has happened, particularly for one of the women who was absolutely brand new to this whole process, and I roped her in. And the patterns that she's noticing about her life, the way that she's engaging her life, the way that she's empowering herself in her life because of the experience that she had and because of the new perceptual filters that she was exposed to and decided to actually take with her into her daily life, because that's the whole point of this paradigm. It's not just to like intellectually know, it's to really bring you back to your body, to your moment, bring your awareness into your moment so that you might empower yourself by actually engaging it differently than the habituated way. That's the whole totality of the fucking point of this whole process. And I finished the phone call, and it's like there's so much that lives, so much untapped potential that lives inside of women because they don't know how else to live. And that's my role. And it's like I am so crystal clear that my role is to engage with women who are looking to engage their lives meaningfully and differently, because what they've got simply isn't working. The strategies that they developed when they were 4 are no longer working. The ability to manipulate or to control every single nanosecond of their life is not working for them. Their lives are not what they imagined them to be as a consequence of what they have been engaging. So then I came upstairs, and just like the reclamation of personal power that happens in that room, the reclamation of the ability to reclaim a meaningful existence, the bridging of science and the sacred, the ability for our body to hold all of that is huge. So I came upstairs, and I'm looking at my dear husband and my beautiful little boy, and I am so crystal clear on my path, why I'm here on this planet at this time, this crazy, insane time that we live in. And I had this realization. That's why I actually came out here, to record myself talking to whoever is willing to listen. Like, I have spent a decade of my life testing out different drugs, and I know what it's like to feel high. And that realization of being in these conversations, that visceral sensation of coming up and out through these conversations, is like so much better than all the drugs I have ingested a multiplicity of times over, a decade-long journey. So I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity to have these conversations. I'm really, really grateful to the courageous, brave souls that are willing to actually show up and stay in the conversation. I'm really, really grateful to myself for knowing what I know, trusting what I know, even in the face of ridicule, even in the face of uncertainty, even in the face of shunning and shaming and humiliation that has been, seriously, people have tried, and it's like, no, I know what I know. I know what I know, and your version of reality is not going to transform that which I already know, because that which I already know is transforming the topography inside myself, and therefore my ability to engage with you and say, wonderful, that's your perspective, that's not mine. And those who are curious engage with me, and the vast majority are not, so they just sort of wander off into their own perceived limitations, continue to create a life of limitations because that's all they know. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that in the face of it being family members, in the case of it being friends, whatever. Like, I'm okay with that. Because here's what I know. Living through this paradigm, living through this internally referenced space, which means that my body digests signals. So now I have a scientist on my team, literally a fucking cell biologist. Very exciting stuff. Who can take that which I work with and I know intuitively and can apply the science to it that's required to legitimize it. Not that I need it, and yet it's really fucking cool that somebody can actually do that with me in the process of engaging. So it's like trusting, knowing what the body's capable of doing, and surrendering to the body, as opposed to trying to figure it out, and as opposed to putting it into a box of that which I already know, because, history. It's like, this is a new, innovative, creative, emerging, in the moment that I'm in, looking forward paradigm, as opposed to, let me look at my history and see if I can figure it out differently, frantically looking for something that I've missed, which is why we tell the stories that we tell over and over and over, right? It's like we tell them over and over, hoping that we can find the missing piece from it. And here's the thing, you're never going to find the piece in there, because it does not live in the history. It lives in the body. It lives in the body's ability to reclaim its territory, to reclaim the truth of its experience, because your intellect can process, get this, plus or minus 7 bits of it, plus or minus 7 bits of information per second. Your nervous system, your body's ability to process is 10 to the 10 to the 11th neurological connections per second. So I don't know how many zeros that is. I just know that that's more bits of information per second than there are grains of sand on the planet. More neurological connections per second than there are stars in the universe. And it's like, well, I guess I am unfuckwithable once I reclaim that territory, aren't I? So there's intelligence to the cultural conditioning that says, don't go to your body, stay in your mind, because you can figure things out if you're smart, and you can figure things out if you have the right tools, and you can figure things out through that. And here's the truth of it, is that for me, it does not have to be your truth, the truth of it for me that I have reclaimed inside myself and now teach other women how to do the same, is that truth only emerges through the body. And that is how I discover what's real and true and meaningful for me. And how to do that, that's my whole job. This is just what I do. And I'm so excited by what I do. I am so enlivened by what I do. I am so certain in what I do. And I bring that to the table. That's what I bring to the table. Because I know things, and I'm willing to stay with you as you discover things that potentially might feel uncomfortable. But I can stay with you and show you exactly what to do in the moment of reclamation. And that's what was reflected back to me today, is the potency of my presence throughout this life transforming experience that I hold as sacred, because it is, because it transforms lives, because it's magical, because it is the entry point to a different paradigm that you did not know existed until you actually have the experience for yourself. So really, 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 really cool stuff that happens to really excite me, that happens to really bring me to life, and that I invite other people to come join me on, because it's really fucking fun. So whatever it is that you're going through, if you think you're alone, you're not. Whatever it is that you're going through, if you think that you're crazy, perfect, because that's what it fucking takes. Whatever it is that you're going through, just allow yourself, if you're, listening to this 10-minute video, allow yourself to consider that there is a possibility out there for you that's different than what you have believed until now is possible. There is so much more. So consider playing around with something else. Consider playing around with something that you didn't know was possible. And then notice what you notice. And then, as always, I love hearing from people who are interested. I love hearing from people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired and are looking for something else. So if that's you, just email me and see where that takes you. Commitment free, nothing to lose, lots to gain. That's my promise. Anyway, it's a lovely day. Thank you to the women who show up. Thank you to the women who are curious and courageous enough and crazy enough to actually become sane. Thank you. Till next time.